All right, so here's how this is going to go. I'm going to tell you a story, and halfway through the story or close to the end, I'm going to interject with some commentary, kind of go into a reverse situation if it would happen, and then and we're going to learn some lessons for that. Then I'm going to go into the conclusion of the story, and finally, then answer the question of the video, what I think. All right, so here's what happened. There's this person I know that has anxiety, like a lot, and they've had like panic attacks or anxiety attacks. I'm not exactly sure what's the difference. I'd have to look that up, but that kind of stuff. I think it was anxiety attack. But here's the thing, and one thing about me is that I don't have any anxiety. Not really. I've never had any panic attack or anxiety attack or anything. So let's just preface this story by saying I don't have any of that, and this person had a lot of it. So, okay, so here we go. What had happened was I said something that they didn't like, and it made them upset, and it made them sad, but not even just sad. It actually made them cry, and it didn't seem like a big deal to me, but it made them cry. And what happened was I had no idea that they were sad about anything. But I was talking to someone and they told me that the person was sad about what I said. And here's the thing. That person, I told them before. I'd said, if you ever have a problem with me, just tell me. It's fine. And we can work it out. And they said, okay. But then when this happened, they didn't say anything. They just cried and they wouldn't talk. They just cried and didn't address anything and didn't say anything to me. And it wasn't until another person told me that they were sad, then I was like, oh, okay. So then I went to them. And I was about to go confront them. And when I got to them, as I was walking to them, I kind of was getting a little bit irritated. And even though I was the one who said something, I was getting irritated because I had told them before, a long time ago, if you ever have a problem, just tell me. And they said, yeah, I'll do that. And then when I was walking to them, or then when this happened, they didn't say anything. So I was like, why didn't you just say anything? If you were sad about something, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me what's wrong with you? Or what's your problem? Or whatever. Even though I was the one who said something, so I shouldn't have been that mad. But it was just slightly irritated that they had a problem about something I said, and they chose to cry about it by themselves alone, and they told another person but not me, the person they have a problem with. So I went to them and I was like, all right, sit down, let's talk about this right now. And as I was talking to them, I saw like all of this nervousness. Like they wouldn't even look at me, they were looking on the ground, their shoulders was like this, like kind of like this or something. And like they were like talking like, I don't know. I saw so much anxiety, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, what's going on here?" Because I was angry. I was irritated. I wasn't angry, but I was irritated that they didn't come to me and tell me what was wrong when I told them before a long time ago to do that. And I was like, "Why wouldn't you just talk to me? Why would you just cry and do nothing and just be sad and you're not gonna say anything?" Until I saw their face, and then I was like, oh, that's why they're not saying anything. Like, because I thought it was such a small deal, it's like it's nothing. This was so easy to solve. Just one conversation, I can get this over with, and it would be easy. But for them, it was not easy. It was a huge deal, and I couldn't see that until I saw the look on their face and how they were acting. And honestly, I almost laughed. Not at them. I wasn't laughing at them, but I almost laughed because I was just like, this is like, I can't believe this is that big of a deal. To the point where you were crying and to the point where you're this nervous over this one thing. I was just surprised as like, you didn't come to me, you didn't say anything. So I saw their face and I understood. So now let's interject, right? Me personally, I've been in situations where someone does something and I don't say anything. In fact, I do this all the time. Like this is this is like part of just me. Like this is what I do all the time. When someone does something that's stupid or they do something some kind of mistake, or something like that, oftentimes what I'll do is nothing. Like, and I'll pretend I didn't see it. I'll pretend I never saw anything. Even if I 100% caught you, I'll pretend that I saw nothing. But I don't do this because I'm scared to talk to someone. I do this mainly for two reasons. One of them is to save the person embarrassment, because I know people do things that they regret sometimes, or people that do things that they shouldn't have. You know, no one's perfect, stuff like that. So I like to let stuff go like all the time and pretend I didn't see anything, even if I 100% caught the person and I saw them and I'm like, I definitely caught you, but I'll let it go anyway, right? And the second reason I do this is because people correct themselves. Like, sometimes when people do something and they know it was a bad idea, later on they'll be like, "Man, I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad I didn't do that." You know, they'll say something like that, or "Man, I'm sure glad nobody saw that." Or if it's me specifically, then they'll be like, "Man, I'm glad Hamzah didn't see that." You know, and I understand that. And so if they were to stop, if I pretend like I don't see anything, then they can go their whole lives thinking that nobody caught them and they did something dumb and they corrected themselves, and you don't have to make a big show out of it or confront them or this big thing, because a lot of people are self-correcting, so they'll correct themselves given enough time. They'll know, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have did that, or I shouldn't be doing that, or whatever the case is. So I love to let stuff go like that because two reasons: saving embarrassment, and oftentimes people will realize their own mistake and stop. And I do that with everybody. But if they don't stop, or if it's a repeating problem, or it's something I think is an emergency, like it's a big deal, or if it goes on for a long time, well, then I'll confront somebody, right? And here's the thing: when I don't say anything, that's me being nice. Like, that's going soft on someone, because I like to go soft on someone and I like to go easy on people, and that's what I usually do. But when I do talk to them, then I'm not going to go easy anymore, because I've already been easy. In my mind, I've been going easy for a while, if that were to happen, right? I've already been easy. So I'm not going to keep going easy when I actually try to talk to the person, because I've already been going easy for the longest time. If I catch you doing something and then I don't say anything, that's me going easy. Me not talking to you is going soft. So I'm already soft on people, so when I confront someone, the softness is gone. And that's how I was thinking. Like, I'm not gonna be soft on someone when I was already soft on them for the longest time, and that didn't solve anything. So now I'm gonna be tough. And when I do confront someone, it's not soft, because I was already soft. So I'm thinking I don't need any more softness. Sometimes you need some harshness, right? Sometimes there's a little, it's little taste of harshness is not terrible. Or what is it? Sternness. There we go. Little sternness is sometimes needed, right? So I've already been going soft by not saying anything. So when I do confront somebody, I don't go easy on them, right? So I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, how's it going? Life is going well? Hey, you wanna go grab an ice cream cone? Vanilla, sprinkles? Yeah? Wait, do you hear that? Like, no, that's not how it's gonna go. Instead, it's more like, okay, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? What's your problem? What's the deal? Tell me what's wrong with you right now. Like, it's real, like, boom, 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 boom. It's like cut and dry, right? And I do that because I like to solve things. If I'm not gonna let something go, or I think something can't be let go, then I like to solve it quickly and effectively. And what I learned is that although this method is quick, perhaps it's not always effective, right? Especially for someone who has a lot of anxiety or nervousness or something like that. Because if you have a problem with somebody, and if I have a problem with somebody, right? If someone gets to the point where they're too scared to talk to me, I can't solve the problem, right? Like, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Because if they're too scared to talk to you, then they're not gonna let you talk to them because they're too scared, so they're gonna run away. But then they won't also talk to you because they're too scared. So their scaredness prevents you from talking to them. Their scaredness prevents them from talking to you, but it also prevents you from talking to them. If you get to the point where someone's has too much anxiety to speak, then there's really nothing you can do if they're not going to talk. And you have to leave it up to them to do something. And leaving it up to them is a bad idea because they're never going to do anything because of their anxiety, right? Like, you see, like, it's an endless problem that goes around over and over and over where nothing ever happens. And it's like the perfect scenario, or the perfect storm, actually. Because it's like the person who's not scared to talk can't do anything, and the person who is scared to talk won't do anything. So it's just like a perfect storm to continue having this problem go around and around like an infinite loop of chaos. Like, it's crazy. It really is, because I just imagine, like, if this was flipped and I was on the other side, this would have been solved in like a few minutes. But if you have the right person, it can go on for months or maybe even years. Like, can you imagine years later a person is like, I remember what you said, and I'm still sad about it. Now, I'm not going to say anything. I'll just look at you very intensely. Like, yeah, that'll work. But anyway, so if their scaredness makes them not talk to you, and their scaredness also prevents you from talking to them, how do you ever solve the problem? Like, this is impossible. This is impossible to deal with someone like this. This is an impossible situation to ever solve, because it's left up to the person who's I guess less capable of doing something. And so I realized, like, wait a second. If they don't speak, the problem doesn't get solved. You can't solve the problem without talking, and they're too scared to talk. So how do you solve the problem? The answer is, I have no idea. And so I realized something. Going direct on people, super like very harsh, or I guess, I don't know, stern, right? Going stern on people, for someone that has a lot of anxiety, maybe even this is too much. Maybe I shouldn't do this with everyone because it doesn't always work on every person. And what I mean by that is that different people, I mean, there's all kinds of different people in the world, right? And different people react differently to different things. And sometimes you'll get the same effect by doing something not as direct, or not as I don't know, stern. Yeah, not as, I gotta keep that word in mind. Stern. I don't want to keep saying harsh, but stern, right? It's like, for example, if you're a parent and you have a child, right? Some children, if you yell at them, they'll cry. Some children, they won't cry until you whip them. Some children, they'll cry if you slap them on the wrist. Some children, all you have to do is say, I'm very disappointed in you, and they'll start crying. Like, there's different levels to it. All of it is the same. They get sad, but you don't always have to go as hard for every single child. So you don't always need the same amount of oomph, I guess, to get the same effect. Sometimes way lesser will get the same effect on the person as doing way upper, right? Sometimes people get super nervous if you're yelling in their face, or if you roll up your sleeves like you're about to fight them or something. Then they would get scared. If you yell in their face, they would get scared. If you talk to them in their face, they would get scared. If you, what else? Call them on the phone, they would get scared. Or if you just message them online, they would get scared too. Like, there's different levels to it. Some people get really scared or nervous when it comes to really light things. Other people, really heavy things. But in the end, it's the same effect. But there's different things you need to get to that end point, right? You don't always need to do the thing that you normally do, which for me was just to talk to them straight up. So with all of this in mind, now let's go back to the original story. So I was talking to this person, and just as I thought, the situation got cleared up just like that. It only took like 5-10 minutes. I explained to them what I meant by what I said. Then everything was cleared up. We made up, and it was just like that. It was easy. And what I realized was, I can't take this approach with every single person anymore, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work with every person. Some people, this is a great method. Some people, it's a great method and it works really well with them. other people, it'll just make them nervous and not want to say anything. And so my original approach, it is good for some people, because I know some people I know some people who definitely, this is the method. There's no other method's gonna work. This method barely even works. 'Cause I know some people, if you're talking to them and you're like, okay, here's the deal. Huh? Here's what you have to do. Huh? This is the problem. Huh? It's like, my God, this boy's head thick as concrete. But that doesn't work. And for those people, I'm sticking to that first method that I usually do. But for some other people, using this method of doesn't work, and it's just gonna make them or flare up whatever anxiety they have, and it'll make them not want to talk or say anything. And then you won't be able to solve anything. So after that, with this person in particular, let's have a loose hair. With this person in particular, going into the future, I want to try to foster a relationship in which they're never scared to talk to me again. Because, I don't want that to happen. One, because you make solving problems a million times worse. But two, because I just don't want you to feel that way. Like, you shouldn't feel that way with me. So that's why. And now that I've gone through all of that, now let's go back to the central question, which was, what do I think about people that have anxiety? Well, I think they got it tough. And I now have a newfound appreciation for them. And I'm not going to go hard on the same kind of person all the time. I'm not going to do the stern approach all the time. I'll save that for people who that works on. But for other people, I'm going to try to be more soft, more sensitive, and go easy on them. Because I could see how hard it is now by looking at that person, looking at their face. So I've gained a newfound appreciation, and from now on, I'm going to take it easy on them, definitely. Whether I'm in the wrong or they're in the wrong, either way, And sometimes, if someone's being difficult, I'll just say this one last thing. If someone's being difficult, even if they're doing like messed up stuff or they're doing something weird, you still got to look at yourself, right? If they're being difficult for some reason or the other, or because of scaredness or something, you still got to look at yourself and be like, well, could I have dealt with that difficult person in a better way? Like, even when you're in the right, you still got to critique yourself, because self-improvement never stops. It's ongoing. It's forever. This is a lesson that I learned. And anytime I run into the next person I run into, other than the person I already know and I talk to, so I squared it up with them. But the next person I run into that I see has some kind of anxiety, if I'm able to spot it, I'll be sure to take it easier on them. Whether I'm in the wrong when I said something that made them sad, or whether they were doing something that was not good either. So either way, you got to take it easier, because you got to get to the point where they speak. Anyway, that's what I learned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. That's all I have to say for now. This one was pretty short. Not short for you. This is probably a longer video. It's short for me because there wasn't a lot of editing. So, short video to create, not a short one to watch. Probably gonna be like around 20 minutes. I don't know. I had lots of pauses. Maybe I'll make it less by editing it even more. Maybe I'll make it 10 minutes. If I am able to do that. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. Yes. I'm wasting time. Let me go. Bye. Now I'm really just